Dimitry Bivol is back with a thirst for vengeance, teasing a surprising new look as he prepares for his highly anticipated rematch against Artur Beterbiev on February 22nd. With the boxing community divided, the stage is set for an electrifying showdown. Veteran boxing coach and analyst Teddy Atlas has weighed in on Bivol's strategy. According to Atlas, Bivol should not focus on what he needs to do, but rather on what he must avoid in the fight. Atlas emphasized that in their first encounter, Bivol executed his game plan effectively, displaying the necessary skills and tactics to secure a victory. However, the judges did not award him the decision despite his efforts.
I've told fighters that before. It's not about what we got to do, it's what we got to not do and make sure we don't. He did everything he had to do to win that fight the first time. What he has to not do.
Moreover, Atlas observed that Bivol was in control for most of the fight until the 7th round, using quick counterpunches and smart movement to stay ahead while preventing Beterbiev from applying pressure. Drawing a comparison to the TV show Gunsmoke, Atlas emphasized that Bivol needs to avoid risky exchanges and fighting up close, instead staying on the move to limit Beterbiev's power.
He was using his hands well, he was putting punches together well, sweet music. And then he wasn't hanging around. He got out, he got to the side, he gave angles, and he picked up again. He was like that Gunsmoke TV series where the sheriff says you got to be out of Dodge by noon. Be out of Dodge by noon. Otherwise, you got a problem, Rich. And that's how you got to fight Beterbiev. You got to be out of
According to Atlas, Bivol was in control for much of the fight, effectively counterpunching, maintaining distance, and dictating the pace from the outside. However, a pivotal moment in the 7th round shifted the momentum. Atlas pointed out that at some point during the round, Bivol threw one punch too many, whether out of greed or momentary carelessness, ultimately providing Beterbiev with the opening he needed to turn the tide. Against a fighter as relentless and punishing as Beterbiev, Atlas stressed the importance of caution.
Where he was throwing up one of those beautiful combinations. He threw one punch too many. He got greedy. Maybe he got careless. He got whatever you want to call it. You got to be cognizant of that with a guy like this. You got to get out of Dodge by noon. If you're a minute after noon, you get shot.
Artur Beterbiev has often been labeled a monster in the ring, a description he admits he isn't particularly fond of. Despite his reputation as one of boxing's most feared punchers, Beterbiev revealed that he does not enjoy hitting people. While acknowledging that boxing is his profession, he humorously shifted the blame onto his coach, joking that it is his trainer who insists he punches harder.
I don't like, hit people, even I'm boxer, It's like my job. My coach always tell me, hit him hard, and I try to hit hard.
You do hit hard.
But it's not my fault, it's my coach always push me.
Reflecting on the first fight, Beterbiev admitted that he was still recovering from knee surgery, which impacted his performance. However, he is optimistic that the improvements he's made in his training will make a noticeable difference in the rematch. While Beterbiev refrained from disclosing specific details about the new elements he has incorporated into his regimen, his confidence in his preparation speaks volumes.
Now I have, even from first fight and today, for next fight, for a match is like short time, but I hopefully I'm better than first fight, because for knee surgery, it's very short time in first fight, and now I think I'm a little bit better because we do some different things what I can't do that time.
Craig Richard, having sparred with Beterbiev and fought with Bivol, noted that the fight's outcome hinges on who can make the necessary adjustments. Both fighters displayed stretches of brilliance during their initial meeting, but the key to victory in the rematch will lie in who adapts their tactics most effectively. Richards expressed his excitement about the bout, stating that he will be tuning in, but emphasized that it's difficult to predict who will come out on top, given the balance between the two fighters.
It's such a close fight. Who makes the necessary adjustments on the night? Because you saw both of them had great spells throughout the fight, so whoever can kind of push the rematch to take what they took from the first one and make the necessary adaptations. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for me. I'm going to be tuning in. I can't call it. It's a good fight.
Moreover, Richards, who has faced Beterbiev in the gym, described the sparring as good and expressed that he felt comfortable throughout the exchanges. Richards revealed that he gained a significant amount of confidence from the sparring sessions, noting that he was able to handle Beterbiev's pressure and power more effectively than expected.
I didn't, styles made fights. I was comfortable with the style. It was good sparring. We sparred like 23 days. I was out there 3 times a week, 3 weeks. But we enjoyed it. It was good sparring, good rounds for me. I enjoyed it. Took a lot of confidence from it, and yeah, it was good.
Fraser Clark revealed that he had picked Artur Beterbiev in the first fight and believes Beterbiev performed fantastically. However, he acknowledged Dimitry Bivol's intelligence and toughness, stating that he has what it takes to get the job done in the rematch.
I think Bivol has got the brain and the sort of toughness to turn that job over. I really do. I had Beterbiev, whatever I don't know how to pronounce it nowadays. Beterbiev, yeah. So I had him picked for the first fight, and I think he did fantastic. Once he grew into the fight, he's a really difficult force, but tactically and with a lot of stubbornness and physicality.
Dimitry Bivol shared a clip on his TikTok account. Bivol is seen immersed in his training environment, his expression determined and his movements sharp and punches fast and proper. While the clip is brief, its energetic vibe resonates with supporters. During a recent training session, Bivol showcased his strong work ethic by honing his footwork while shadowboxing with a resistance band. His movements were sharp and controlled as he practiced punching while staying in constant motion, stepping in and out with speed and precision. According to Teddy Atlas, Bivol made the error of lingering too long after an exchange. Instead of executing a clean 3 or 4 punch combination and immediately retracting, he remained in the pocket just a fraction too long, whether due to overconfidence, greed, or carelessness. This gave Beterbiev the opening he needed to respond.
He should have threw a 4 punch, even a 3. If he would have threw 1 punch less, it's what you gotta know what not to do. Don't stay there too long. Don't throw 1 punch too long. Don't get a little greedy. Don't lose track of the watch, the time. Noon. You gotta get out of Dodge by noon.
Bivol expressed that he felt he was in control throughout the majority of the fight, even while on the back foot. He explained that despite moving backward at times, he was still able to dictate the pace and manage the distance, which is a testament to his technical skills and in-ring abilities. However, Dimitry Bivol also acknowledged that despite his control, he did not act in a manner that would have impressed the judges.
I had this feeling most of the fight. Even when I was moving back, I felt like I'm controlling. I didn't feel that, something I cannot control at all and I'm in troubles. No, I was controlling. I just didn't act how I should act to impress people and the judges, I think.
Bivol acknowledged that the fear factor surrounding Beterbiev's knockout ability has not diminished. Bivol praised Beterbiev's power, emphasizing that the Russian-Canadian champion remains one of the most dangerous knockout artists in the sport today. He expressed respect for Beterbiev's raw strength, stating that the unbeaten champion still can knock out anyone in the division.
No, he's really powerful, and he still could knock anybody out. He has capability for this.
In addition, Artur Beterbiev revealed that while collecting titles throughout his career was an exciting journey, his focus has now shifted to defending them. Beterbiev expressed a strong desire to solidify his reign by successfully retaining his championships.
That time I want to grab this all belts, like, you know, now I want to defend them.
Dimitry Bivol stated that his added motivation comes not from facing Beterbiev, but from a desire to surpass his past self. Bivol emphasized that he is driven by the need to improve and evolve, pushing himself to be better than he was in their first fight. This internal drive to grow and overcome his previous limitations is fueling his preparations as he seeks to make the necessary adjustments.
To be honest, yeah, I have, but I don't have it against my opponent. I have it against me, against my past version.
Moreover, Dimitry Bivol has expressed that his desire to face Artur Beterbiev in the upcoming rematch is not solely driven by the titles at stake. Even if there were no championships on the line, Bivol stated that he would still love the opportunity to fight Beterbiev, emphasizing the personal and professional motivation behind the bout.
To be honest, even if I think now about even there is no belts on this fight, I would like to fight this fight. I would like to get this fight.
Pro boxer Shakur Stevenson shared his thoughts on Dimitry Bivol's approach to the rematch against Artur Beterbiev, stating that Bivol performed well in their first fight, but eased off in the final 2 to 3 rounds. He believes Bivol simply needs to finish stronger this time, as he likely recognizes the importance of maintaining his intensity through to the final bell.
I think all he had to do was just finish a little bit stronger. He did really good in the fight, but the last 2 to 3 rounds, he kind of let his foot off the gas, and I think he know that.
However, Artur Beterbiev acknowledged that his fight with Dimitry Bivol was the toughest in terms of going the distance and how it played out, but he sees it differently. While he admits that Bivol brought a challenge, he believes he has faced strong opponents throughout his career, making it difficult to label Bivol as his toughest test outright.
Strong guys, like, I mean, but it's different, but you can say yes, it's toughest fight.
In addition, Dimitry Bivol reflected on his first fight with Artur Beterbiev, stating that he doesn't dwell on whether he won or lost, but is dissatisfied with his performance. He admitted that he didn't do enough in the fight and knows he was capable of more.
I really think about, I don't like my performance. I didn't do enough.
Trainer Shane McGuigan believes Dimitry Bivol can reflect on his first fight with Artur Beterbiev and identify areas for improvement. He noted that Bivol fought in bursts, whereas Beterbiev was more consistent, which influenced his scoring of the fight in Beterbiev's favor. McGuigan suggested that if Bivol had maintained his pressure without taking extended pauses, it could have changed the outcome.
I think it'll be revenge. I think Bivol can look at that fight and think where he could have, you know, he fought in spells. I scored it to a Beterbiev. Just felt he was more consistent. Feel like if Bivol had have pressed it a little bit more, because he was pressing it in bursts, but then he was going off. He was taking long breathers. And it wasn't like he was tired, he probably thought he was in control and winning.
Former pro boxer Amir Khan praised the Beterbiev versus Bivol rematch as a great fight, acknowledging his friendship with both fighters. While he referred to Artur Beterbiev as his Muslim brother and expressed respect for him, Khan stated that he knows Dimitry Bivol personally, and if he had to pick a side, he would support his friend Bivol.
A good fight, and they're both my friends, and I like Beterbiev as well. He's a Muslim brother, but I like Bivol. I know Bivol more personal. He's more of a personal friend. So if I was to pick someone, I'd rather go for my friend. Nothing against Beterbiev. He's a great champion. He's a Muslim brother as well.
Dimitry Bivol addressed the viral video of him catching flies while shadowboxing, explaining that he was out on a run when the flies started bothering him. Instead of letting it distract him, he turned it into part of his workout, making the best of the situation.
Catching big flies. Yeah, we called it ovod in Russia, it's like a flight. I had a run. This time I remember it was between my fights. I was just having a run, and then I saw the place where I can do shadow boxing, and I just wanted to catch some flies. To be honest, not too hard. People could do it. It's not hard. It was, but I did it. Yeah,
Just a normal day for Dimitry Bivol.
It was old video, you know. I don't remember when it was, maybe 6 years ago.
We'll get you outside tomorrow and try find some flies for you.
I didn't see here.
Carl Frampton revealed that he had picked Artur Beterbiev to win their first fight, acknowledging that while there may have been some controversy, he ultimately saw Beterbiev as the rightful winner in what was a very close contest. However, for the rematch, Frampton believes Dimitry Bivol will make the necessary adjustments and come out victorious.
I picked Beterbiev for the first fight. I know there's a wee bit of controversy. Well, there wasn't really. I thought the right man won the fight. I thought Beterbiev won the fight. But it was very, very close. But in the rematch, I think Bivol wins the rematch.
Darren Barker has sided with Dimitry Bivol for the rematch, stating that he had Bivol winning their first fight and expects him to win again. After rewatching the bout multiple times, Barker still believes Bivol edged it in a close contest. He felt that between the two fighters, Beterbiev could have done more, particularly by starting faster and applying sustained pressure throughout the fight.
I thought Bivol won the first fight, and I think he'll win this fight. Having said that, I believe when I look back at that fight, and I've watched it a couple of times since, still believe Bivol won in a close fight. I felt out of the two, Beterbiev could have done more. I think he could have started quicker and kept going and put more of a dent in Bivol, who we see in the last couple of rounds felt the pace, didn't he? Felt the presence of Beterbiev and started to fade.
In addition, Darren pointed out that Artur Beterbiev, now 40 years old, is no longer in his physical prime, and that age is beginning to take its toll. He emphasized how the demands of training camps, fights, pressure, and accumulated damage from sparring and competition start to wear a fighter down. Barker believes he is already seeing signs of decline in Beterbiev, suggesting that his resistance may be fading.
He's just turned 40. You know, he's no spring chicken, and this starts to take its toll on you. The training camps, the fights, the pressure, the build-ups, it all really does. The shots that you've taken in sparring and on fight night, your resistance starts to fade ever so slightly, and it becomes very, very difficult. At some point, that's going to happen to Beterbiev. Oh, we starting to see it already. Is the decline start?
Joe Rogan voiced his excitement for the rematch. He recognized the immense stakes surrounding the bout. He praised Bivol's exceptional skill set, emphasizing his standout victory over Canelo Alvarez as proof of his elite boxing ability. Rogan acknowledged that Bivol's disciplined style and technical prowess make him a formidable challenge, setting the stage for a thrilling showdown against the relentless power of Beterbiev.
That's February 22nd. I'm fucking pumped for that fight.
They're gonna fight again?
Oh yeah, this is the rematch. I'm very pumped for that fight because Bivol is so goddamn good too. What he did to Canelo, like no one's ever done that Canelo.
George Groves believes Dimitry Bivol will defeat Artur Beterbiev in their rematch. While he expects another close fight, Groves is confident that this time Bivol will do enough to secure the victory.
I'm gonna say Bivol beats him. I reckon close again. Bivol beats him. Yeah.
Hamza Shiraz has been direct in his prediction, stating that Artur Beterbiev will repeat his victory over Dimitry Bivol. However, this time, Shiraz believes Beterbiev will win more convincingly.
Repeat. And a more convincing repeat this time.
Canelo Alvarez shared his thoughts on the rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dimitry Bivol, predicting it will be another electrifying bout. Alvarez praised both fighters for their immense skill and potential, acknowledging that their clash promises to be a thrilling spectacle for boxing fans. Additionally, Canelo hinted at the possibility of returning to the light heavyweight division, suggesting that he may have unfinished business in the weight class in the future.
And just one more from me, Beterbiev Bivol, the rematch. What a great fight that is in Saudi. How do you see that playing out, Saudi?
It's gonna be a really good fight again. Both are great fighters, and
do you see yourself fighting a light heavyweight again?
Maybe.
Joe Cordina believes Dimitry Bivol now fully understands what he needs to do in the rematch against Artur Beterbiev. He is confident that this time Bivol will secure a comfortable victory.
I think he knows what he needs to do now, and yeah, I think Bivol. I think it'll be. A lot of people thought he won. I didn't. I personally, I didn't. I thought maybe 1 round to Beterbiev, but I think it'll be a comfortable win for Bivol this time around.
David Benavidez stated that the first bout was a close contest but could not have gone either way. However, Benavidez felt that Bivol won the bout as he won most of the rounds, controlled the pace, and had the better combination. He praised Bivol's technique and asserted that Bivol's performance was superior. Benavidez firmly sided with Bivol, predicting that the Russian boxer will win the rematch.
I thought Bivol won that fight, to be honest with you. It was a close fight. It could have went. Couldn't have went either way. I feel like Bivol won most of the rounds. He controlled most of the rounds, and his combination punching was better.
Do you think he wins the rematch?
I think he does. Yeah.
Trainer Jamie Moore believes the rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dimitry Bivol will be just as close as their first encounter, with both fighters approaching it similarly. However, he predicts that this time, Bivol will be the one to secure the victory.
I feel like at that level, when there's a fine line between winning and losing, it's going to be a very similar fight. They're both going to come pretty much the same, and it'll be the same type of fight, and it'll be as close as it was last time, but I feel like Bivol will nick it this time.
Former light heavyweight champ Roy Jones Jr. shared his insight on the battle, stating that Dimitry Bivol's ability to withstand Artur Beterbiev's power would be crucial to his chances of victory. Jones emphasized that while Bivol has the skill to win, he would need to work extremely hard to break down Beterbiev throughout the fight.
If Bivol can take Arthur's punch, Arthur gonna have problems. If Arthur can take Bivol's punch, Bivol got to work for a long time.
Former pro boxer Johnny Nelson expects Dimitry Bivol to win the rematch on points, believing that Bivol had more room for growth after their first fight. He pointed out that Artur Beterbiev has shown he is unlikely to change his pace or approach, allowing Bivol to make the necessary adjustments to secure victory.
I think it's revenge. I think Bivol beats Beterbiev on points. I think Bivol has room to grow from the last fight, whereas Beterbiev doesn't. I think we see Beterbiev showed you he's got pace. The pace he worked at is the pace that he stays at. He ain't going to change. He's not going to change anything else, or can't change anything else about that style. So Bivol's got to make sure he takes the pace, he brings it up and down, and if he does that, he gets the win. So I think we get a different outcome for the next fight.
In conclusion, both fighters are in great shape and are ready to give more than 100%. The boxing community is heavily divided with the outcomes of the rematch, and we would love to hear your thoughts. Tell us in the comment section below who you favor in the rematch. Your support means a lot. If you're enjoying the breakdown of these epic battles, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. Share this video with a friend who loves boxing, and we have got more exciting content coming your way, so stay tuned for all the latest updates on the biggest fights.